Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so this is a little bit of information about how to use theme, the idea of theme, to analyze a work and what theme is. So from the agenda, click on Theme Information. This leads us to Canvas, so open up Theme Information and Overview. If you have a paper copy of this that you are printing out or did print out, you can open that now. So this is going to discuss a little bit more about theme. So I'm sure you learned about theme in the past, but overall it is the central, underlying, and controlling idea or insight of a work of literature. And I like to have my students remember the idea insight of the work, because theme is never literally written out by the author. The author is implying it to us as readers. We have to infer it, figure out the insight that the author wishes us to convey. So that's the second point. The idea the writer wishes to convey about the subject. The writer's view of the world, or a revelation about human nature, something that they're trying to teach us, make us think about as readers. Authors don't normally sit down and write a work just for the fun of it. They normally have something they want to tell the reader about society or human nature or relationships. So how to go through and identify it, you have to first remember that it's not just a topic or a single word. It's not just the purpose of the work. It's not to entertain or inform. It's more about human nature, a little deeper than that. It's not just a moral. We don't need to necessarily learn a lesson. It could be a moral, but it's not always a moral. And it's not simply the conflict. The conflict lends itself to the theme. We can learn about the theme from the conflict, but they are not synonymous. So step one, to identify theme. First, make sure you understand the plot. You could summarize it in a one-sentence description so you know what happened in the story, the exposition, conflict, rising action, the climax, so you understand what happened. You've read the work and you get it. Then you identify the subject or the topic. So what is the work about? What's being expressed? The next part, which is a little bit more difficult, identify the insight or truth that was learned about the subject. So how you can figure this out, you can think about, what did the protagonist learn, or how did the character change? What lesson did the protagonist learn, or what lessons did the other characters learn? How did they change in the work? How is the conflict resolved? Once you kind of figure that out, state how the plot presents the primary insight or truth about the subject. So how does the plot, including the characters or just the events of what happened, or how the characters react to those events, how does that demonstrate some sort of insight or truth? And then finally, write one or more generalized declarative sentences that state what was learned and how it was learned. That's how you write theme. So to test it, you can see, is the theme supported by evidence from the work? So can you quote things that characters are saying or doing to prove your theme statement, prove what you're arguing? And are all of the author's choices of plot, character, conflict, and tone controlled by this theme? Or did you just point out one small, obscure portion of the text that's not indicative of the entire text? So that's a little bit of what theme is and how to do it. So underneath in Canvas, underneath my theme information document that's linked, I have topic plus insight equals theme. So if you're a more math-minded person, that's what that other document was saying, but watered down a little bit. So the topic of the work, the subject, plus the insight learned about that subject equals the theme. So I have some common themes in literature here. These are topics. See, it says the above list are topics for themes. So depending on what happens in the text, you would elaborate the insight of those topics. So, who am I up there? Let's like identity. So what is the text saying about identity, or about fairness, or about devotion? So you have to figure that out as you're reading. It's different for every text, but some of these topics are the same. So as you are working on identifying possible themes of the Crucible, I hope this clears up what theme is and how to go about thinking about it. If you need more practice, you can look for more resources on this page, or else come ready with your questions to class tomorrow.